Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today we continue our week of making Patreon-sponsored decks. Today's video was brought to us by Patreon supporter Tiz. Huge thanks to Tiz and the rest of my Patreon supporters. Tiz had an incident recently at their LGS and requested my help with some retribution. You see, they were at a pod with two new players, and along comes someone who claims their deck is a 3, but it was actually a high 4, if not a 5. This is referred to as pub stomping, joining a public game and breaking out a deck that is far too powerful. So Tiz asked for something powerful, ruthless, but reasonably priced. I told her about some of the nastier decks I'd built, and she finally settled on Liesa, Forgotten Archangel. Also, and I know it's annoying to keep hearing this, but statistically if I don't ask you to like and subscribe, the video gets fewer subscribers. Liesa, Forgotten Archangel is a 5-mana 4/5 legendary angel with flying and lifelink. Whenever a non-token creature we control dies, at the beginning of our next end step, we return it to our hand. If a creature an opponent controls would die, we exile it instead. Liesa is basically a Praetor, massive upside for us, massive downside for our opponents. She's also the meanest Aristocrats commander I've ever seen. In order to build an Aristocrats deck, you want 3 moving pieces: creatures to sacrifice, payoffs for sacrificing them, and sacrifice outlets to get your engine going. Now, many Aristocrat decks will run token generators, but this one uses a form of reanimation. I know, it's not pure reanimation, and it does require our commander to be on board, but it's fine. Recasting cheap creatures over and over again is value. That is how this deck works. Also, since we can recast Plaguebringer over and over again, it means we not only kill our opponent's board, our commander means they get exiled. But before we get to our deck list, a quick word from our sponsor, Ultimate Guard. If you're planning on building a deck led by one of the spaced out commanders from Edge of Eternities, you should probably get one of these lovely new Squareos boulders featuring characters from the delightful animated series, Star Trek Lower Decks. You can collect all of them, like this one featuring Badgie. Pick yours up today at your local game store or order them online from Amazon. Click the link down below to go to Ultimate Guard's Amazon store. In order to build a functional commander deck, you need lots of different pieces, which is why I try to rely on my handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Oh, one more quick announcement before we get started. I'm currently streaming over on Gaming with Danon as well as Twitch. It'll mostly be Final Fantasy XIV, but you're more than welcome to pop in and talk about Commander. Honestly, about half my streams are talking about manga, anime, or Commander. Our land base consists of Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Godless Shrine, Vault of Champions, Shattered Sanctum, Isolated Chapel, Shadowy Backstreet, Snowfield Sinkhole, Sunlit Marsh, Tainted Field, Bleachbone Verge, Caves of Koilos, Bright Climb Pathway, Shine Shadow Snarl, Temple of Silence, Orzhov Basilica, Bajuka Bog, Midgar, City of Mako, 8 Plains, and 10 Swamps. Not the most expensive mana base I've ever built, but not exactly budget either. For mana ramp, we've got Solemn Simulacrum, Burnished Heart, Ashnod's Altar, Pitiless Plunderer, Pawn of Ulamog, Warren Soul Trader, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Talisman of Hierarchy, Orzhov Signet, Marble Diamond, Charcoal Diamond, Chromatic Lantern, and Smothering Tithe. Yes, this will be a Bracket 3 deck. Also, I wanted a couple of creatures in the ramp section that could be brought back with our commander and used again. Our card advantage package consists of Grim Haruspex, Midnight Reaper, Village Rites, Morbid Opportunist, Karmic Guide, Sun Titan, Phyrexian Arena, Carmen, Cruel Sky Marcher, Harvester of Souls, Vampiric Tutor, and Demonic Tutor. Some card draw, some reanimation, and some tutors, as it should be. For interaction and spot removal, we've got Grave Pact, Dictate of Erebos, Cathar Commando, Plague Crafter, Shriek Maw, Demon's Disciple, Accursed Marauder, Braids, Arisen Nightmare, Priest of Forgotten Gods, Eradicator Valkyrie, Ruthless Lawbringer, Remorseful Cleric, Fracture, Disenchant, Generous Gift, and Anguished Unmaking. Lots of repeated forced sack effects that we can use again and again. Our board wipes consist of Toxic Deluge and Damn. Flexible and powerful. Our sacrifice outlets consist of Umbral Caller Zealot, Viscera Seer, and Carrion Feeder. For payoffs, we're running Zulaport Cutthroat, Blood Artist, Cruel Celebrant, Ellis Ilkor Sadistic Pilgrim, Bastion of Remembrance, Sir Conrad the Grim, Corpse Knight, Agent of the Iron Throne, Marionette Apprentice, and Vito Thorn of the Dusk Rose. I know that Vito isn't technically a payoff, but most of the rest of our payoffs gain us life, so he basically doubles our triggers. The core of our deck consists of Selfless Savior, Selfless Spirit, Teysa Karloff, Elenda the Dusk Rose, Drivnod Carnage Dominus, Doomed Traveler, Doomed Dissenter, and Swiftfoot Boots. Wanted at least one way to protect our commander. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 36 lands and 14 pieces of ramp, right on target. 12 pieces of card advantage, counting our commander. Yes, recasting a card is a form of card advantage. 16 pieces of interaction, much of it reusable. 2 board wipes. 3 pieces of graveyard hate in Bajuka Bog, Remorseful Cleric, and our commander. 2 Sudden I Win cards in Grave Pact and Dictate of Erebos. Okay, I need you to understand how ruthless this is. Imagine your opponent casts a Plague Crafter. Okay, no big deal, you sacrifice a creature. But wait, they have a Grave Pact on board. Okay, so you have to sacrifice 2 creatures. One from the Plague Crafter trigger and one from the Grave Pact trigger. No big deal. Oh wait, their commander's on board. Your sacrificed creatures are exiled. And they have a Zulaport Cutthroat and Bastion of Remembrance on board, so you take 2 damage. At their end step, their sacrificed Plague Crafter gets returned to their hand, so they can do it again next turn. And while this isn't a lock specifically, it is ruthless and difficult for most decks to play against. Just think how annoying it would be to play against a Plague Crafter and a Shriek Maw getting cast turn after turn after turn. I hope Tiz has a lot of fun with this deck. But what about you, dear viewer? Who's your favorite Aristocrats commander? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. You can have a video made or just ask for help building or tuning a deck list. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Drya, Muffins, Marcus, Brett, Roxy, Alix, Borgi, Nazwin, Conga, Robert Pye, Kazaris, Patrick, Tiz, Art, Richard Sint, Boomy, Osura, Justin, Golden Walker, Captain Hammer, Yori, and Sledge. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos every weekday, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.